Yep, we are live. Hello, all. Welcome to another special session of our hackathon. Before going further into the session, let me give a quick intro about Francesco. Francesco was the developer at daily.dev. Also, is a public speaker, content creator, community builder, and more. Let's hear more from Francisco himself. Hey, Francisco. Welcome to our
Nice,
special session. How are you doing?
nice. Thank you so much, Siva. I'm very well, and it's Saturday. I want to relax. Thank you so much for inviting me. I think you mentioned everything. Maybe you just forgot the Docker Captain, which is sort of ambassador for Docker, and I'm also very active on many social media, and I've also founded a community. So that's it. But that was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much.
Great. So, for the people who don't know anything about you, how would you explain what you do?
Yeah, the most important part is that I'm actually a developer advocate for daily dev. So that's my current job. But since that's not enough for me, otherwise I get bored, I'm also very active on social media, especially Twitter, YouTube, and Discord. And I'm very, very enthusiastic about Web3. Otherwise, probably I would not be here. I'm a public speaker. I've talked in Web3Conf India, Germany, Poland. I have another conference in less than 4 days in London. This will be the last of the week. So I'm very active. I like to engage with people, talk to people, do some cool stuff together. So this is how I like to talk to people and interact.
Excellent. You do a lot of stuff, right? You post content on Twitter, LinkedIn, and you create content on YouTube as well. How do you balance your time?
Yeah. Okay. So my secret is not a secret, is that since I noticed that I'm way more productive in the very early morning, and I'm not productive at all after dinner, I go to bed very early and I wake up very, very early. So this gives me 2-3 more hours of high productivity hours. So usually at 10 a.m. I already have many things done. But of course, this is an illusion because then I usually go to bed at 9-10 p.m. But I would not do any productive after 9 p.m. anyway. So I decided to dedicate the hours in the early morning, especially to Web3, creating content, do some stuff. So that's the only thing. We all have 24 hours. I'm also lucky. I currently live alone. I have a girlfriend, but I live alone. So I don't have kids, so I don't have pets. So I can focus on content creation, social media, trying to stay fit. I can say at least I try. And that is it. I think it's very, very important to find the time to exercise, to balance, because if you just stay in front of your screen 18 hours for 2 years, your body will change. So this is also very, very important. I'm a huge advocate. I've also been a volleyball coach before just stepping into tech. So for me, physical health is super, super important.
Great. Adding to that, what is your day-to-day work life look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, wake up very early. The first thing that I do usually is I write the daily stand-up, so what I'll do. Then I create a Web3 content. Usually I post at 5-6 a.m., which is probably not optimal from a point of view, but it's good for me because I say, okay, so at least I posted something about Web3 today. I'm also on a challenge of posting one Web3 content every day. I started on the 19th of December 2021, and I posted every day. I'm still doing this on the 19th of December, which is in around 1 month and a month and a week. I've been posting for every day for a year, and that's a huge personal achievement, and that's also what I do. And then I have many tasks during the the day. I create videos, I do live streams. So during the day, I balance. I have a list of tasks that I have to do, and I stay a lot of time on Twitter, but for me, it's part of my job because as a developer advocate, creating connections on Twitter, talking to people, posting something, it's part of my job. So I'm lucky. We can say that it's not just relaxing for me. Social media, it's actually part of my job. And yes, that's it. Usually I focus on the community activities on Saturday, for example, today, and live streams usually at the end of the day. and that's it. So it really depends on how much stuff I have to do for the company, daily dev, and yes, that's it. It's a very continuous content creation, a content creation machine. But yeah, I love this life, so very happy with this.
Yeah. There is like a huge euphoria around the Web3 right now. What is your take on Web3?
Sorry, can you repeat?
What is your take on Web3?
Yeah. So for me, Web3 is no more than a set of technologies. So I'm not a huge fan of Web3, but I've created many also repositories, projects, which they have this Web3 word now. So I can't change this for now. I like to call it more blockchain. It sounds better, I think. And it's basically a set of technologies. They can be useful. They can be not useful. Some people can scam. Some blockchain can fail. And that's it. So this is from my point of view. I never gave financial advices about what cryptocurrency is the best or what you should buy. I'm more focused on the development part because I am a developer, so I want to focus on the building part. And I really love doing this. I love doing tutorials. I love doing live streams. I do every month. I do a 12 hours live stream. I think it will be in a couple of weeks. So this is my take on Web3. It's a new set of technologies that I think it's important to understand. It's not much different on what has been cloud 10 years ago, which maybe someone says, no, this is not good, this is good. At the end, now people are adopting this technology. Now it's, let's say, socially accepted. Web3 is still not socially accepted. The reason is that it's new. It's not really new in the sense that it has been invented last month, but there has been a huge hype, and now we have probably in a decrease of the hype part, but it's normal. Like it happened with the AI in the 90s. Everybody thought that we were being driven by robots by the end of 2000, and we are still here with some connection issues and some problems. So that's it. And to be honest, I almost like this part because after this initial hype, when everybody's buying NFTs, flipping NFTs, trying to get billionaire, there will be the good parts will remain. So I think that we will still see the Web3 technologies and blockchains because it's not about a single technology. The Web3 is not FTX. Web3 is a whole set is an ecosystem of ecosystems. So it's very rare that all the blockchains, all the Web3 technologies are gonna fail. For example, Huddle is an example of a Web3 technology. It looks cool. We're using it now. Will it be successful? I don't know, but it's very promising. Lens protocol is another social media related to Web3. You can see my handle here, and it looks promising. I'm still just starting getting using it. So I'm sure that there is something good in Web3 and something bad, like it's always been on the internet, but also for every technology that we use. So this is my take.
Yes, from development point of view, Web3 is a revolutionary concept where we flip the application from being closed code cooperation owning the platform and users the data to open code contributors on the platform and users own their data, right? Yeah. Give us your roadmap of how to become a Web3 developer.
Yes, so I made a kind of long article on how to learn Web3. I've also done the presentation in person about this, so I'll try to be fast here, and maybe we can link the article later. So the idea, to be honest, because before I say this, I'm not personally a huge fan of roadmaps, but people they want this because it can be interesting to have at least some technologies that you want to understand. So for blockchain, to make it very fast, otherwise this can be a bit long, I think it's very important to start with the fundamentals of the blockchain without talking about any specific blockchain. So how a blockchain works, cryptocurrencies basics, what is a blockchain. There are some websites, some links, there are some initial articles. For example, one is by Another Debit. So some initial part, let's say, a refresher. And then there are some concepts, like, for example, block explorers, block oracles. There are some basic things that are basically different. Wallets. There are some concepts that even if you are, let's say, a super experienced senior full stack developer, you still don't get it. So it's very important to understand this concept for first. And then you can dive deep in one of the blockchains. Currently, I suggest Ethereum, not because I'm paid or it's promoted, but because currently I think it has the biggest ecosystem, the biggest community. It can be right, it can be wrong. But you can choose Solana. Sorry, you can choose Solana or another blockchain. And I think that before going on the multi-blockchain approach, I will start with understanding one blockchain and how that blockchain works. Decide one language for that single blockchain, for example, Solidity for Ethereum or Rust for Solana. And once you deploy some contrast with that blockchain, or you understand what is a testnet, what is a mainnet, what is a node in the blockchain context, then you can move, because in that case, it becomes easier because you already have a raw understanding. It's like when you try, for example, to understand what is an API, what is a backend technology. Once you understand what is how to make, let's say, a backend using Java, Spring Boot, then transferring this knowledge to Django or to Node.js, it's easier because you have the core understanding. Once you have the core understanding, the rest is just the language, grammar, and just understand how there are always some things, something that you should understand because it's very specific, but you get the raw idea. This is my idea of how to get started, of course. This is just the beginning.
Excellent. Can you tell us more about your education?
Education? My education?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yes, so do you want to know, like, computer science degree, what I studied?
Yeah, like,
okay.
Yeah, can go.
Yeah, sure. So I've worked in the sports before stepping into tech until I was 32. So I've been kind of consistent in the sports world. Then I stepped into tech, and I've always been a fan of computers. I have a Commodore 64, 486. I'm 39, by the way. And but for me, it was not a job because for me, coding, it was super boring. I just could sit on a chair just to playing games. I've always been that close to become a professional gamer. And then basically 7 years ago, I started to get tech seriously. I have a computer science degree, but it's just an addition. I'm still a self-taught developer. I studied cloud development, Docker and DevOps. I became a Docker captain, so I studied on the DevOps part. Other things about the educational part, we can say the part of becoming a DevRel, so a developer advocate. I had to study, understand how to create content, understand how to talk to people, how to make a podcast, and yes. So this is, let's say, in 30 seconds, all the education that I had. That's it.
Excellent. You aren't born with a silver spoon, right? Definitely, you must went through a lot of ups and downs in your life. So tell us, what is your biggest failure that you faced, and what you learned from that?
Okay. Do you have 4 hours or just one? Okay, failures. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about the failures just because in sport I had so many failures that I can't even remember them. Maybe something that I can talk very fast. It has been my first interview in tech. I failed my first interview in tech. That it was for an internship position. So I have been studying, let's say, for 1 year, 1 year and a half. Then I had this basically almost unpaid internship opportunity, but there was an interview. So I went to this interview. They asked me to remember some SQL commands. I'm super bad at memory. Memory is my worst nightmare. I can understand the concepts. I love math. But if you ask me, like, say, Francesco, remember these 2 lines? I can't remember them. This is also why all my shows are always pretty natural, because I really can't remember things. It's super hard remembering things for me. And I remember that I made this internship interview and I failed it. And I felt bad, we can say, but to be honest, this has been one of the luckiest days of my life, because after 2 months, 3 months, I made another interview for a full stack developer position for the European Space Agency, working with satellites, and I nailed it. And after 1 week, I was working there. So this is like a kind of reminder that when we fail at something, it can be one of the luckiest days of our life, because maybe we need to adjust our direction, decide to do something else, and yeah. So this has been one of the failure that I also turned up for probably being one of the luckiest opportunities. And then from that position as a full stack developer, I jumped on Twitter. I've been way more active on social media and everything else. But like this first job came up from a failure, we can say. And probably if I would have get that internship position, I would not have made another interview 2 or 3 months later. So it has been the luckiest failure of my life.
Great. One thing that I had learned from you is your consistency. Like you have been uploading the YouTube videos regularly for the past 2 years, I think, irrespective of their views. Great.
Yes, I think I crossed 400 videos on YouTube in around 2 years. So for having a full-time job and a very active Twitter account, it's not. It's. I mean, I've been kind of annoying on Twitter, I can say, and YouTube, I can say.
Absolutely. What is one thing you wish you would have known before you began your professional journey?
Professional developer.
Yes.
Okay, this is a great question. So I started to step into tech in 2015. I started being active on social media in 2020. So I think that I would have started my social media activity 5 years before. Even, I mean, I don't mean being so active so I'm now, but let's say just sharing my achievements, some failures, some tips sometimes, because I've been coding like 12, 14 hours per day. So I would have used my social media a bit before. I would have different numbers now if I started in 2015 instead of 2020. And being very active on social media, it's basically a job. And I could have done this because there was a pandemic. I had a lot of free time. But probably this is the thing that I will do different. So if you are interested to step into tech, social media, Twitter, or any other social media, LinkedIn, you can use them to connect with other developers. But since the beginning, I waited for 5 years before starting to connect with some people, because I thought that social media, they were just a waste of time. And they can be the waste of time if you use them bad, but they can also be super useful if you connect with other developers. So this is what I would do different. I would have started taking care of the profile on Twitter a bit before. That's it. But they always say that if you regret that you should have started doing something before, it means that you are on the right track. So that's it.
What is one advice would you give to someone trying to pursue a career similar to yours?
So you do mean in DevRel or Web3?
Yeah, develop will be.
Yeah, DevRel. Okay, so I switched to DevRel from a developer position. So if you want to step into DevRel, the important part, I think there are 3 important parts when you can focus on if you want to get started with DevRel. The first one is social media presence. So social media presence, it means that you should have a daily presence on at least one social media. This is the bare minimum. Of course, you can do more, but you can do not daily. But having a daily presence on LinkedIn or Twitter or on YouTube or so on one social media can make a difference. So social media presence. The second one is content creation. So creating content. Creating content can be write blogs, make videos, live streams, podcasts, Twitter spaces, but creating content. And I would say focus on the content that you really like the most. For example, if you like making podcasts, you make many podcasts. I have a series of almost 200 episodes, and I made the first 100 episodes in 100 days. And one of those 100 people, it was the CEO of the company that I'm currently working on. So creating content can be super useful also to create connections if you make some collaborations. And the third one is communities. So found a community or try to be very active in a community, become a staff member or whatever. So these three things can bring you to another level. And if you want to switch from developer to developer, advocate, or work in DevRel. So, and I think that it's not for everyone, but everyone can be a DevRel if they want, because we are all unique. We have some special skills, special abilities. Maybe we are very good at writing. We're very good at making a space or making a podcast. So these are the suggestions that I give to try to get started with DevRel. Good luck.
Excellent. Tell me 3 names who has been most influential to you.
Names, do you mean in tech? Can be anyone.
Anyway, from your life.
Life. Oh, this is hard. It's getting harder. I'm sweating.
Both your professional and personal.
Okay, 3 names. I can't even find one, but the problem is that I don't follow people much. Neither Elon Musk. So it's a bit hard. There is a content creator in Italy that I like, Montemagno, and but to be honest, I think that I usually don't follow people much. Let's say I want to focus more on what I can do. So I like to create connections with people, but I don't have. Usually, I've been more focused on what I can do. So if I have maybe an idea, I'll share later. But I don't. For sure, we can find the 3. So it has been, let's say, a very personal journey. I think that our journey on social media and our lives should be very personal, and we can get something good for someone, but we should never like copy or imitate someone. So I can't find a specific name that I'm literally following their path or that has been influential. Many people have been influential, but I don't have a specific name for this. I'm sorry. Can I skip one question? I've been kind of good so far.
No problem. What books are you reading right now?
This is a good one. This is not scripted, but I have this. It's not promotion. And so Vitalik Buterin, Proof of Stake, and also Do Epic, SHIT. I don't know if I can say this in live stream, by Wariku. This is also a kind of interesting story. If I can be if I can say this very fast, can I?
Yeah, sure.
So basically, I've been in India for the Web3 Conf, and I missed a plane. So I arrived to Mumbai, and I missed a plane for like 10 minutes because I had to get the luggage. So okay, so I had to stay 8 hours in the airport in Mumbai. Also, in parentheses, it was also my birthday, so it was not the best way to pass that. I've been kind of at least I was lucky that my girlfriend was there. But I had these late hours of that I can't do anything. So I found a bookshop and I found this book. And the interesting part is that I shared a picture of me holding this book is there. And also saying that it was my birthday. So people started to say, happy birthday, Francesco. Also, Wariku replied to me like, happy birthday, Francesco, because I tagged the book. And after this, we made a Twitter space with Wariku. So this was also brought me like to be in contact with him. So this is also a interesting story, like because and I always say that if you want to try to have someone on your podcast, if you admire them, if you like what they do, at least you can try, because we are all busy. But if we like someone, I had like, I say 200 people on my podcast, and people ask me, Francesco, how can you have these people as guests? I ask them. So you ask, and you hope that they are not super busy. They want to come to your podcast. So this book that I'm currently planning to read this on the plane. So in about 2-3 days, I should also finish it. I found this activity that I can do while I'm on a plane, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. Now give us 3 book names that you recommend to anyone.
Okay, so I think let's see if I can. Okay, so one is probably there is one book that I wrote before this, and is The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up, FAFUCK, and this is kind of good and interesting, motivating. Other book, does it have to be related to tech or?
No, irrespective of genre.
Okay. There is a book which is called Siddhartha, I think. It was a
Yes.
kind of good one. It's a kind of small one. Hermann Hesse.
Yes.
And
It's on Buddhism, right?
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Another one. I don't know. There are many. Let's see. Lord of the Rings. I read it. I liked it. It depends on what you want to do. But yeah, I think that our interest should not be just tech on, I don't know, suggesting an algorithm. I will never recommend you to read an algorithm book. No, no worry. I'm not that mean, we can say. But having some knowledge on the book can be very good. So yeah, I discovered this year. I started to read again more, but I think that books are very powerful to get knowledge. So that's it. These 3 for now, and I can't recommend a book that I didn't finish. So probably if you ask me, but this one by Vitalik is very good, but I can't recommend it because I've not read it yet, and also the one by Bariku. That's it.
Great. How does your crypto portfolio look like?
Okay, so to be honest, my crypto, I have some investment in cryptos, but it's like it's less than 1%, way less than 1% of my savings. And I think at 90% of this small 1% is Ethereum. So this is what I have, and Web3 is not crypto, so I have some of them because, of course, by working with Web3 companies, it's easier to get paid with cryptocurrencies. But to be honest, I don't have like huge savings, and let's say luckily on them. So I would never recommend to put more than 5% of all your savings in crypto. You're doing something wrong because it's something that can totally fail. It can double, it can be 10 times. And I mean, if it become 10 times, 100 times, we are happy. But if we lose our savings, sorry, it's not good. So this is more or less. I have also some Doge coins, but like $100, something like that.
Okay. What are your future plans?
Okay. Yeah. So it's very hard to plan my life because basically my life since I joined Twitter, it changed every 6 months. So now that I work here at Daily Dev, it has been almost more than 1 year, and I'm happy here. What I'll do for sure is that I'll focus on the 3 things that I said before. So social media presence, content creation, and community. I have a community of content creators for C. It's called. It's rank 9 on the whole content creation communities on Discord. So we are like competing with like official communities. So I want to focus on the community, social media presence, and try to put out as much content as I can. I'm also, as I said, in 3-4 days, I would go to my last conference of the year. I made 7 conferences this year in around 5 months. which is not it's not that people are doing this, someone is doing this as a job. I do this in my free time or taking some holidays. So in future plans is for sure keep doing public speaking, at least 4 conferences per year. and yes, that's it. So focus on the community and the Web3 content creation for Web3, and I think that I will be kind of busy next year too.
I hope I covered everything, but if you are in my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
Okay, this is interesting. I think we covered many parts. So maybe about the community, I can ask. I can give myself ask me something. For example, I don't know which are your plans, the ideas, how many people are there, how is the situation. So there is this community called 4C community. 4C stands. It's like 4 C's. So it's like a cool community of content creators. And I'm currently working on this, especially during weekends. We make calls, we organize activities. There is one Web3 project inside the community, but there are different projects. So one is mine of Web3, but there are also different ones, and we are focusing on these. So, and this is, I think, enough for another episode, like about the community building, how is creating a community, which are the failures, the good things that you did. I noticed that the community is really to give as much power as you can to people, not doing everything alone, because it's impossible. The more you find people that you can trust and you give them more the more power that you can. And so this has been, I think, the creating a community has been the hardest thing that I've done so far. It's not even close to what I did on Twitter and YouTube. Creating a community has been one of the hardest things that I've done, but also the most rewarding. Not in terms of money, of course. The community is totally free. Nobody is getting money, neither me. Probably have giving money to support the community, but it's rewarding from a human perspective, and I think that this is it's great to have. So yeah, we can make many episodes if you want, but this is probably something that I would have asked because it's interesting, the fact of building a community.
Finally, thank you so much, Francisco, for doing this. It was a pleasure having you. We got a lot of answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Good.